What is up, New Beginnings Church? Happy Friday morning to you, and welcome back to your not longer midweek, your late week devotion as we are devoting through John 21 chapters as we do 21 days of prayer and fasting. And so John chapter 13, famous story. Here it goes. It says, "And when Jesus had finished washing the disciples' feet, he put on his clothes and he returned to his place. And he asked this question. He goes, 'Do you understand what I have done for you?' He asked them. He said, 'You call me teacher and Lord, and rightfully so. That is what I am. And now that I, your Lord and teacher, have washed your feet, you also should wash one another's feet.' He goes, 'I've set this to you as an example that you should do as I have done for you. And truly, truly, I tell you, no servant is greater than his master, nor a messenger greater than the one who sent him. And now that you know these things, you'll be blessed if you do them.'" I love this story. You know, when you think about it, you have to remember that Jesus is in his 30s. Most of the disciples would have been teenagers to early 20s. And he has his last illustrated sermon. Now, there's different times where he had taken up to him a mountain, or he'd walked on water, or multiplied loaves and fishes, or done all kinds of incredible things that they were going to write about. But he goes, "This is your last kind of object lesson. I'm going to teach you how to win the world. I'm going to teach you as leaders and disciples how to go and take on the world ahead of you. And here's how you're going to do it." And he goes, you grab a cloth and a bucket of water, and you outserve everybody. That's how you win the world. I love what he does this. What he was saying is after he had washed their feet, he sits down and he goes, "Do you understand what I've done here?" Meaning there's a lesson. Guys, pay attention. Do you see? Do you understand? Do you grasp the gravity of what just happened here? There is a lesson in it. And the lesson is this, is that one day you're going to be leaders. You're going to have incredible power. You're going to have incredible influence. What do you do? What do you do when you have the most power in the room? What do you do when everybody stops to listen to what you have to say? How are you going to treat people? How are you going to handle that? And he goes, "I've given you the ultimate object lesson. You're going to pick up a cloth and a bucket, and you will serve one another." There's a lesson in that. And what he does is that he really puts him to the challenge, because he says these words. He goes, "You call me teacher and Lord," and that's true. That's right that you do that. He goes, "But if the teacher and the Lord is the one washing feet, I'm letting you know that this is the lesson, that this is how you're meant to love one another and care for one another as well." And then he goes on to even push it further, and he goes, "Hey, real quick, who's greater? The teacher or the student?" And they're all like, "Oh, the teacher." Like, who's better, the master or the servant? "Oh, the master's better." And he goes, "Well, if the master is willing to get down and wash everybody else's feet, what does that say for you?" In essence, what he was doing was he was almost not raising the bar and raising the standard of excellence. He was lowering the standard of humility. He was lowering the standard of humility down so low, and he took the ugliest, worst job you could have in the house. And he said, "If I'm the master, but I'm willing to do the lowest job, I've pushed the humility bar so low so that as servants, you can never look at anything and say, that's beneath me," right? Because if Jesus the master is willing to wash feet and you're underneath the master, then there's nothing that you can look at and say, "It's beneath me to clean toilets. It's beneath me to serve the poor. It's beneath me to feed that homeless person." Nothing is beneath you, because the master lowered the bar of humility so low. And then he gives you a little tiny tidbit of blessing at the end, because he says this. He goes, "Oh yeah, by the way, this is a secret to life, that if you learn this, if you do this, if you know this and do it, oh, blessing will be all over your life." Because here's the thing, your life is more blessed when you give, even than when you receive. So church, let us follow the way of the master. Let us follow the way of the cloth and the bucket. Let us go serve the world around us. Can I get an amen to that? Church, I love you so much. God bless you. I'll see you soon.